When is someone who is a proclaimed bachelor likely to want to settle down and get married? The answer is when he has found a beautiful woman with her sun, moon, or Venus conjunct his 7th house of partnership. Many of us are walking around blind, endlessly trying to figure out why a person that we love will not commit to us and marry us. Well, I will go through many Hollywood couples here to prove my point. Some are still married and others are not. Many also have a Saturn-Synastry connection, which is also known as a marriage indicator. Take George Clooney, who once upon a time was one of the most eligible bachelors in the world. Many, including me, thought that he would never marry. Women have been swooning over George Clooney's multi-million-dollar smile since his big break in the 90s. Around that time, Clooney was known for his quiet and charming playboy image. He kept a low profile, yet he was always on the scene, and kept a beautiful woman by his side. Then one day, he miraculously announced his engagement. Despite George's sun being in Earth in the sign of Taurus and Amal's sun being in a traditionally non-compatible air sign of Aquarius, George married Amal in September of 2014. George's 7th house of marriage and relationships is in 19 degrees Aquarius conjunct Amal's sun, which in 15 degrees Aquarius within a 4-degree orb. Amal's Venus is at 17 degrees Aquarius, which is within a 2-degree orb of George's 7th house. I am quite certain that as soon as George saw Amal, there was a lightning bolt within his head that said, "She is the one." George did not settle down until he was good and ready and until he knew that he had found the one. Now, I'm not saying that their marriage is all peaches and roses. His sun in Taurus squares her sun in Aquarius. His moon in Capricorn is opposite her Mars in Cancer, not the best for harmony. On a positive note, Mercury in Capricorn is conjunct his moon in Capricorn, so they will often have similar thoughts and feelings. George's Saturn in Capricorn is within a 1-degree orb of Amal's Mercury in Capricorn. How did he know he had found the one? Intuition. The universe has given us a blueprint for life that we recognize through energy, or what humans consider a feeling. Astrologers have been able to decipher this intuition or feeling through birth charts. After much astrological study, I can now look at 2 birth charts and within 30 seconds tell if that couple is happy or if they have conflicts. I can tell if they married the right person. I can tell if they are in a karmic marriage. I can tell if they are in a happy marriage. Astrology is a beautiful language that deciphers feelings like a mathematical equation. The problem is that it is difficult to know if your planets are in someone's 7th house. Most people do not know their birth time, and if they do, they will not just willing tell you, so essentially you may have to kiss a lot of frogs until you find your prince or princess, or you can rely on the lightning bolt to strike you. The problem with the lightning bolt is that generally one person's 7th house will be in the other person's planets, but it may not be vice versa. For example, my first fiancé proposed to me within 3 months of dating. I did not feel the marriage pull toward him as my 7th house is in Pisces and he had 0 Pisces planets. However, his 7th house was in Cancer conjunct my sun. He wanted to marry me badly. I ultimately broke his heart and left the relationship. A few years later, I met the person that I eventually married. He had a sun in Pisces conjunct my 7th house within a 2-degree orb. His Saturn in Leo was within a 1-degree orb of my Venus in Leo. Yes, I felt an immediate lightning bolt as I saw him that said, "This is your husband." We dated for 3 years but still had no proposal. I had to drop so many hints and basically beg for a proposal and marriage. I couldn't understand why he didn't want to marry me. Alas, now I understand after intently studying astrology. His rising was in Taurus with his 7th house in Scorpio. His Juno asteroid of marriage was also in Scorpio. I have 0 planets in Scorpio, so despite my insistence that he was the one and asking him to marry me, he never felt the same intuitive pull. It is a hard pill to swallow once you realize the truth, but that's the way it is sometimes. Sometimes, no amount of patience will make the non-7th houser in the relationship feel aligned with you, so it's in your best interest to walk away. However, before you walk away, let your non-7th houser know what you want. Wife Ashley Simpson Ross 7th house in Virgo. Husband Evan Ross Sun plus Mercury in Virgo. Husband Lamar Odom 7th house in Cancer. Wife Khloe Kardashian Sun in Cancer. Wife Kim Kardashian 7th house in Gemini. Husband Kanye West Sun in Gemini. Husband Kanye West 7th house in Capricorn. Wife Bianca Censori Sun in Capricorn. Wife Chrissy Teigen 7th house in Capricorn. Husband John Legend Sun in Capricorn. Husband John Legend 7th house in Cancer. Wife Chrissy Teigen Moon in Cancer. Husband Kevin Costner 7th house in Pisces. Wife Christine Baumgartner Sun in Pisces. Husband Nick Lackey 7th house in Cancer. Wife Jessica Simpson Sun in Cancer. Wife Jessica Simpson 7th house in Taurus. Husband Nick Lackey Moon in Taurus. Husband Travis Barker 7th house in Capricorn. Wife Kourtney Kardashian Moon in Capricorn. Husband Will Smith 7th house in Gemini. Wife Jada Pinkett Smith Saturn in Gemini. In addition, they both have opposite risings, which mean both their 7th houses conjunct each other's first houses.